So welcome back, everybody. My name's Andrew.
And I'm Tiffany.
And you're watching the Kelley's Country Life. So on today's episode, we're going to be running Tiffany's favorite piece of tractor equipment, right?
Yeah, it is.
So I should say we're going to attempt to run it. We have our WoodMaxx WM8 wood chipper back here. And well, it's a very large chipper. It chips up to 8-inch diameter stuff, and it has a 200-pound flywheel in it. That's the whole reason I bought that chipper many years ago. A lot of the lightweight flywheel chippers on the market, well, they just bog down quickly because they don't have all that inertia and momentum of that big heavy flywheel. Now with that said, a big heavy flywheel takes a lot of horsepower to run. So let's see, we've just got our hands on a Solis H24 hydrostat tractor right here. It's got 24 horsepower and we're only working with around 18, a little over 18 horsepower at the PTO, which is slightly under what WoodMaxx recommends for this chipper right here. But y'all been asking for years, y'all been seeing us run the chipper on the channel on our bigger tractor, and I get asked all the time, do you think it would work on a 30 horse tractor, a 25 horse tractor? Well, we're gonna answer that today. Let's fire it up, let's see if this tractor can even get it started, and let's start running some material through it. We've got a lot of wood damage after Hurricane Idalia swept through the property. It's literally gonna take us months to clean this place up. So we're just gonna slowly start working down our trails little by little and chipping away. All right, so here is the WoodMaxx WM8. Like I said, it's an 8-inch chipper, and I have run material that big through it before, although that's really firewood material in general, but I've done it on a much larger horsepower tractor. It's got a mechanical drive roller, gearbox, and again, that 200-pound flywheel. So we got a lot of moving parts to turn over. And this is our Solis H24 that we're going to attempt to run that with. I'm really curious about this test. There is a lot of people out there either looking at tractors this size or already owns tractors in and around the 24, 25 horsepower range. Let's see if you could run a really nice chipper with one of these. All right, I'm about to engage the PTO. Let's see what happens. All right, so it definitely bogged the tractor down as expected, but it actually recovered very quickly. The chipper's running. Let's fire it on up to full RPMs. Let's see what we can run through it. All right, here goes nothing. Let's start with some basic limbs right here. Shouldn't have a problem with this. Running a little bit bigger stuff here. All right, it handled all of that, no problem. Let's move on up to probably some 3.5-inch material right here. I would figure this might be the limit with this much horsepower, but I really don't know. Surprisingly handled that with no problems. I didn't even think we'd be able to get up to material this size today, but this is what we're about to try. It's about 3.5 inches on this end. This end is probably up to 5+ inches. Now this is softwood pine. We're gonna get into some hardwoods on another episode, but I'll already be amazed if it'll chip this without dropping the RPMs on the tractor. All right, as you may or may not heard, once it got to the end where it was about 5 inches, I did hear the RPMs drop on the tractor, but I'm amazed. I didn't think we would ever make it to material that big on a 24 horsepower tractor. That's awesome. We can do a ton of work. All right, well, I would say that was a good initial test to see if this combo right here would work, and I am blown away, y'all. I am not kidding when I say this little tractor right here has been impressing me more and more I run it. I had no idea what a little 24-horse tractor was capable of, and it has not disappointed yet. I am shocked, absolutely shocked, it can run a chipper this large. Now, with that said, big credit goes out to the WoodMaxx chipper here. This thing has just worked. I've had it for years and years, and it's helped me clean up a lot of stuff, and that's about to really be put to use with all this hurricane damage that we have around here. All right, so we still got a lot of work to do. I think we're just going to keep continuing to plug away at these trails as we get a few hours here and there. And as it cools off, you can just see we've got trees down everywhere. I see some blocking this trail way down there. We also need to mow everything out. It's really bad at the other end. So we have about 2 miles of trails, a bunch of them through the pines and then quite a bit through the woods. I've already cleared up some of the woods trails, but I have major trees down out there. We're gonna have to do a lot of chainsawing, split some up, skid some out. But it's literally gonna be months before I get all of our hunting trails, walking trails, dog walking trails, whatever you wanna call all these, back up and open, especially out there in the hardwoods, just because all the trees that are down. But what y'all can't see is I'm looking behind you. There's probably, I don't know, 100 pine trees and tops and everything else that are down, just like what you've seen us chipping up today. So as we keep getting cool snaps and Tiffany's off, we'll come out here and leave the chipper hooked up to the Solis tractor for the next few weeks. We'll come out and knock out 2, 3, 4 trails one afternoon, knock off, come back out the next day or a few days later, knock out 2, 3 more trails, and before you know it, all your trails are back open. All right, this little package worked out well. Hopefully this answered your questions. I had a lot of people ask me if you could run that size of a wood chipper on lower horsepower. I think we answered that today. You absolutely can, up to about 5-inch material, and you need to kind of take it easy at 5-inch, but that's already starting to turn into firewood material. Any smaller than that, it pulled it through absolutely no problems. We'll catch you on the next video.